Hey guys, my name is Jeremy Ryden. I am the marketing director here at Chenoweth and Cohen Realtors, and I run our marketing company, Top Corner Marketing. Today, I'd like to go over the website that we use to host all of our properties, as well as a variety of other public-facing things. And we're going to dive into that and the back end of the website, where you can control and add leads and contacts, and just generally organize your business things. Just a little primer on what we're going to do today. So the website provider that we currently used is called PropertyBase. And previously, they were called Boston Logic. So if I go back and forth from PropertyBase to Boston Logic, I apologize. The change was fairly recent, and I'm just very used to calling it Boston Logic. However, when you log in, you will most likely see PropertyBase branding. So forgive me, but I might go back and forth a little bit on that. Okay, so the other thing is we are going to be changing web providers here in the next couple of months. So I would recommend not diving too deep into the website. It's a great idea to go ahead and put your leads and contacts in because that stuff is all going to transfer over to the new website. However, I am sure that a lot of it won't, a lot of the rest of the things. So don't go diving into putting together, complicated follow-up plans and 30, 60, 90-day lists and all these other things, because most of that stuff probably won't transfer over, and I don't want you to waste time. So we're going to go over the basics today, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you through any of these things. So to go to your website, you're going to go to your first initial last name.cctulsa.com. And this is going to be the case most of the time. There are some occasions, and you should know who you are, where you may have requested to have a different name, or maybe there's, like, let's say your S. Smith or something like that. That's kind of a more common name. You will have something different, but you should know what that is. If not, reach out to us over at marketing, and we can get that information from you. But you're going to start right there. In this case, I am going to show you just the Chenoweth and Cohen page, but you'll see up here on the top right there is an admin link. So go ahead and click on that link, and it is going to take you to our back end of the website, what's called the dashboard. Excuse me. The first thing you'll notice on the dashboard is your leads here on the top left. Now, this is your total number of leads. Most likely it's going to say 0 if this is one of the first times you've logged in. You can do some basic quick actions down here on the bottom left. You can add a lead, add a task, add an event. But if you look, what you're going to use most often are these links up here across the top. And usually the events in PropertyBase are going to start out with the lead. Lead will turn to tasks, tasks will become events, and events will become deals. So you can think of it as working from your left to your right. Next is content, where you can edit pages. Beyond that is property, where you can do property searches and put together showing sheets and things like that. And then you have the marketing section, where you can create emails, lists, and other marketing content. And then you have, and on yours it will say agent tools. So resources, bulletin board, and be able to see all other employees and agents and that sort of thing. Beyond that is reports. We won't get into reports today, but it is there if you want to dig around a little bit. All right, so starting out with leads, the most basic thing to keep in mind in PropertyBase is that there's a difference between leads and contacts. The difference is leads are somebody that you are going to potentially sell a home to, and contacts are somebody that's a resource to you. And you might not primarily think of them as somebody that you're going to sell a house to. So things like other realtors, contractors, and staff, things like that. So they keep those contacts handy for you if you need them, but you're not necessarily pushing out marketing materials to those people. So there's a couple different ways you can add a lead. My recommendation is to do it in bulk. And the reason for that is it's just going to save you a bunch of time. So most of you are already going to have your leads in some sort of spreadsheet somewhere, whether that's in Excel or in your phone or in Google somewhere. The first thing you need to do is save those in some form of a spreadsheet. It can be any kind of spreadsheet you want. Because the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click right here and you're going to download the import leads template file. When you get that opened up, it's self-explanatory. We can help you through that process. We're happy to do it for you. But if you'd like to do it yourself, all you have to do is delete the content that's in there currently, and then copy and paste your lead information into that sheet. So you'll copy a column for first name, copy a column for last name, and copy a column for email at the very least. And you'll paste those into this template spreadsheet. You can continue going with birthdays, addresses, lead type, all kinds of things that you can put in there, but that's all bonus information. Once you're done, just go ahead and save that out of Excel as a CSV file, and then you can just upload this here and click choose file, upload the file that you just saved, type in a confirmation email, and then hit import leads. It is important to note here that you do, even though it's not marked as such, this enter an email address to send a confirmation email to, that was a mouthful, field is required. So the upload will fail if you don't put an email there. And that's just an email that PropertyBase is going to send a confirmation when the process completes and let you know, hey, this is done, and if any failed, it will also notify you of that. So you can see here, you just go to upload and then hit upload. The way that processes work in PropertyBase is it will typically vary in time that it takes depending on how many things are in that action. In this case, it's leads. So if you have 5 leads, it's going to be very quick, versus if you have 10,000 leads that you're importing, it is going to take some time. So you queue it up to work in their system, and then depending on how many processes they have going at once, it may take anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes. It just varies depending on time of day and people on the site and that sort of thing. So once you're done importing your leads, then we need to create lists. But before I show you that, I'm just going to show you here in contacts. The way that you import contacts is a little different. So contacts, just to go back, is somebody that you are not necessarily selling to, but you want to keep their information handy. And there's no bulk upload for contacts. So the only way to do it is to go to Leads, Contacts, and then that takes you to this screen here, and then you can click Add Contact, where you can put in their information, and then click Create Content, and then they'll show up here in your contacts. Tasks and events we're not going to get into. That's some more advanced concepts, and I really wouldn't recommend getting into that before we switch over to the new platform. Content, if you want to change any content on any of your properties, you can do that here. If you'd like to add pages to your website, you can do that here. I would highly recommend that you let us do this for you. There's really no reason not to. You can fill out a quick RoboHead request, and we'll be happy to add any content or pages to your website that you would like. So again, just recommend that you let us add any content for you. Property. So we're going to come back to property in just a minute. Right now, we're going to look at marketing. So I mentioned list earlier. So now that we have everybody in the system, we need to be able to organize those leads somehow. And the way we do that is through lists. Now, we can use lists to lump everybody together. If you want to advertise to everyone at the same time, you can do that. And I would say that's primarily the way that people use this, is just to have an everyone list. But if you like to dig in a little deeper than that, you can have a list for people who are shopping for 4-bedroom houses with 3-car garages. You can have lists for people who are over 40, lists for people who are under 30, people who are 30 to 40, have kids, don't have kids. Any way you'd like to sort your data, you can create a list for those types of people. That way, if you'd like to, you can send out custom emails based on those demographics and the interest for that people group. It's a really powerful way to kind of dial in your marketing so you're having the biggest effect. In order to create a list, once you're in the lists page, this is all of my existing lists. So to create a new one, I'm going to click Create List on the top right. And you can call the list something. So in this case, I'm going to say this class list. Description is going to say just for fun. And this is great, just a good habit to get into, creating descriptions for lists so that after you've created a significant number of lists, you can look through them real quickly and not have to try to remember what it was that you were doing. Now, everybody thinks in the beginning that there's no way they're going to forget why they made that list. But I'm telling you, once you do this a little bit, you're going to forget why you made the list. So it's great just to get in the habit of putting a quick description in so you can take as much future brain power away from yourself as you can. I'm creating this list for, you won't see this. This is just for admins and assistants. So it's going to be you're going to always create lists for yourself. And then the next thing is you're going to hit add people to this list. I'm going to click on that green button. And you'll see here that there's an option for managing list members. My recommendation is to not add people in this screen. Just go ahead and hit save. So we've got our list now. It's created. You saw that green bar at the top. Now we're going to go back over here to leads. We're going to go to all leads. And we're going to look through here, our leads, and pick the people that we want to add to this new list that we just created. So I'm just going to arbitrarily click on a few people. Just going to check some check boxes here. Okay, so I've got, let's see, it looks like 6 checked there. I'm going to go scroll back up to the top, and you'll see there's this please choose drop down that's now there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to click add to list. Next to that, you can see where I can select a list. Now I can see everybody's list here. You'll just be able to see the ones that you created. So I'm going to go ahead and look for that one that I just created, which I've already forgotten what I called it. It was class list, I think. Maybe not. I can't remember what it was. So I'm just going to pick a different list. Test list training. Was that it? Maybe it was. And I'm going to click add. So once I do that, I can go back over to marketing, look at lists. And I'm going to scroll down to where it says test list training. Lots of tests. Let's just do this test. It's a little bit more difficult for me just because I can see everybody's, where yours you only see a few, the ones that you create. There it is, test list training. And you can see that I now have those 8 leads in this list. So I can go into this list if I want to see who's in it. And I can check these and remove them if I want to. But most likely next step is that I'm going to be send this group an email. Now, to send them an email, I go up to Marketing and Campaigns. Okay. Now we're going to create campaigns for you periodically, which will email you and let you know when they're available. But you can also go in here and create new campaigns. So if I want to create an email, all I do is I click up here on Create Single Email on the top right. I'm going to call this email campaign something. So in this case, I'm going to say Test Email Campaign. If I can spell campaign right. And next. Again, always a good idea to add that description there. The email subject. Now this is the email subject that's actually going to go out to your clients. So you want to make sure that you name it as something that's going to be catching. In this case, I'm going to say, check out this amazing new house. Okay. And I'm going to hit design. And then I am going to pick an email template. Now I would recommend just kind of browsing through here. You can see kind of some of the ones that we've provided in the past. I am going to look for pre-built email layouts. And I'm looking for one that is a simple single listing layout. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to bring up that template. And then I am going to pick which property I want. Now, this is integrated with MLS, so I can just go ahead and I'm just going to try to guess a property name. 115. Okay. I don't like that. Let's do something that's a little longer address. There we go. And as you can see, it went ahead and pulled a property photo for this house in, and pulled in all the information about this. And so you can link it back to your page or a specific website or anything else you want to. You can actually control what information. If you want them to have to call you for the price, you can uncheck the price and not even show that. So all the different sections that you can edit here. You can change colors and things like that. I'm going to go back over to the edit info and just, you see how it brought in my subject from the previous page, but you can add an additional description, save it to a category if you like, and then you're all set. So when this is ready to go out, the first thing you want to do, you always want to send a test email. Just to make sure everything populates the way it's supposed to, go ahead and hit test. For a test email to work, you have to have a lead. So if you don't enter a lead here, it will not work. It will not go to this person. So don't worry about that. It's just looking for some information to be able to populate the dynamic fields in the email. So just pick one of your random leads, promise it won't go to that person, and then the email address that you want the test to go to. I would recommend not doing a professional email for this one, just so you can keep it separate and kind of see what the client is going to see. So I'm just going to put, in this case, my Gmail account, jeremyryden@gmail.com, and then hit send test. Great, you can see that an email test has been sent. Go ahead and fly over to your email and just confirm that everything is correct on that. It filled out your information correctly, your client's information correctly, and you will be all ready to go. Once you're done, go ahead and hit next. Go ahead and just wait for this to skip over to the next page. After you're all done with your design, you're going to decide who gets this. So again, back to the list. So I'm going to search training. You can see here this test list training that we picked earlier. So you can send this to just one list, or you can send it to multiple lists if you would like. And then I'm going to hit next. and you can see a little thumbnail here. And so there's a couple things I can do. I can send another test email at this point if I would like to, or I can hit activate, and this will go out. So let's see here. I missed my send at somewhere. Where did I miss that? Oh, here we go. Okay, so scheduled delivery. This was in our second screen here. I skipped over the scheduled delivery. I want it to schedule a date and time. I don't want it to send out immediately. I want to do this in advance. However, you can send it out immediately. And then I'm going to pick June 25th. Good. All right, then I'm going to skip back forward to the last review page. I've already done all this. This is good, so you guys can see how I troubleshoot shot that there, and just in case you missed something, and then you should be able to just skip forward to the end here, and now you can see that green activate button is highlighted and ready to go. So I'm not going to actually send this out because this will go to real clients, but you are ready to go once you get to this point. So that's how to do an email. Office Tools, this is a good place where you can go in and just kind of get all of the common documents that are on here in between training and Elite Magazine proofs, as well as links to things like RoboHead, pricing sheets. There's all kinds of good information here that will help you kind of get up to speed on everything. So check that out. I think that's all right now with us kind of winding down with property base that we have on the Office Tools. Most of those things have shifted over to Microsoft Teams. So again, if you haven't already installed Microsoft Teams, I would highly recommend you do that. That is going to be your communication resource where we will communicate with you one-on-one and as a class setting. And I think that's all I'm going to cover for today. That's quite a bit to kind of dig in with. I really wouldn't recommend diving in too much further than that, just because I don't want you to lose any work. But if you have any questions on the things that I covered today, or have any specific questions on other things, I'm happy to answer them. My extension here is 929, or you can reach me at 918-417-7782. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being with me today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you soon. Have a good one.